Able to get that off, and then the door just falls off. All right, here we are, Canadian junkyard. Okay, pro tip here. Hey everybody, welcome back to your favorite YouTube show, Fixing Random Crap with Craig. We are here today in the Great White North. Some snow coming down here today, and sort of thought I would do a bit of an unboxing of this RIDGID miter saw and miter saw stand. Currently, I think on sale at Home Depot. The stand came free, which is pretty cool. I'll show you the boxes. There's a few saws you get that would come with this free stand. This is the 12-inch non-slider. I had looked at the sliders, but just a lot heavier and tougher to move around and set up and stuff. And I don't really feel like I have the use for that. That is the box for the stand. There's two different stands at Home Depot right now. This is the one that I like the look of, and that came with the saw. There's the old Delta over there. She's had a great life and given us lots, but it's I think it was time. Especially I'm doing a lot of trim right now, crown molding and stuff, long pieces, and I think this stand is going to be pretty awesome for helping out with that. So I realized a little bit too late to do the unboxing, but I will walk you through how the assembly went for the stand, and then we will unbox the saw, because that's the step I'm at now. So for the stand, it was really straightforward. This handle here has just a few screws that need to go into it to hold that on, and a locking nut and a washer. So that was that, and then you go down here. It comes with a few axles, a washer and a nut there. You put the washer on this side, and then a smaller washer and a nut on over here. So far, I'm not super impressed with the wheels. They spin freely and everything, but they're a little bit wobbly. So I don't know if that's supposed to be how they are or what. But anyway, and then for these guys, the material holders, I think, or something they're called. So they just slide in here, and you get them to the height you want, tighten them up, and then there's a little. Hold on now, this thing should come out pretty freely. There it is. There we go. Yeah, that needed to get up a little bit higher. This is the lock for this. Slide this out as far as you want, and then you've got your extension. Comes out quite a ways. That's about as far as it goes right there. But even you have both of them out on each side, then that's pretty good. I am experiencing a bit of another issue with these things. Now they say in the directions mount the saw to this thing first, but I just wanted to see how they would fit. So there's kind of a lock here. I'm trying to do this one hand. They say hook the front first, and then push down on the back. That one's fine. You lock it here, and then with 2 hands, push down on that. So that's locked on there real good now. This one just doesn't want to go. Doesn't want to fit on at all. I don't want to break it. So I took a look, and there seems to be a screw under here. So I'm going to try loosening that off a tiny bit and see if that is the adjustment that will make that work a little bit better. A little bit surprised that out of the box it doesn't come adjusted to fit its own stand, but nevertheless, here we are. So next up, I'm going to start opening this box up here, and I'll show you what we find. Okay, got the box open now, and one thing that jumped out at us right away, the reminder for the lifetime warranty. That's one of my reasons why I'm a fan of these RIDGID tools. Got a few other of their products, and the warranty has been handy in a few cases, so I like that. So as we open it up here, we got a few different things. We got some pieces for the fence. Figure out how we install these. We got a nice new blade there, and we got this handy dandy material holder which might be really helpful with some of that crown that we're going to do. So I'll unpack that and we'll shoot another little clip after. Here's what it looks like in the box. Gonna take her out and get it up on the stand here and walk you through the try to figure out how to mount it to those mounting rails. But so far, I just find that this is much lighter saw and easier to maneuver than those sliders, so a little bit quicker for small jobs. So we'll be back in a sec. Okay, back to the stand real quick here. That did seem to be the fix. So if your rail is too tight to fit on, if you go like that and it won't push down, flip it over, take a look at that screw there, loosen it off a little bit, and then just keep testing it so you find an appropriate amount of tightness. So that goes on nice there now, about the same as the other one. It was pretty touchy, like I backed it off maybe one other full turn and it was way too loose. So so that's the tip for that. That may need a little bit of adjustment out of the box. And then we've moved the saw over to, they recommend in the directions to put it on some 2x4s to get it up so you can get the rails mounted on. I didn't want to mount the rails until I knew the rails were going to fit on the freaking stand. So that's done now. So the next step is going to be to hold down, put some pressure on here, hold down on the handle, and cut the tie wrap to allow that to come off. We'll get that styrofoam out of there, and hopefully get her mounted next. Hopefully the next little clip is it mounted on the saw. So we'll let you know how that goes. Oh baby, we have it mounted. Wasn't too bad. It was definitely a good idea to put it on top of something to be able to mount these rails here. Pro tip is that this is a hex. It's a hex screw, and on the back of one of these fence extensions, in this little slot here, is a. Let that focus for a second. Anyway, that's a Phillips. Can't really see it very well. For, I guess, installing the blade. But on the other end of that is the perfect hex for those screws that actually come from the box on the stand. These screws come with the stand, and they don't come with a hex screw, but if you get the RIDGID saw, she's got a hex on the other end of her, so that's pretty handy. That goes back in there. I'll figure that out after. Okay, we're going to figure out what the next steps are, and we'll fill you in. We're getting there. Okay, another quick update for you. The next step in the instructions was the Mitre fence. These are slidable, so there's a little bit of a little knob back here. You can loosen her up. You can slide her out to wherever you want. A little bit extra fence there for you. On the back of this one, we do have that the blade. Oh no, sorry, it's on the other one. It's on this guy here. There's the saw mounting tool. Also, we have the dust bag. It's dead simple to slide on there. Just squeeze that. And then this here the work clamp, it's called, just slides into the hole. I thought it would mount on in there. But there's another hole on the other side, same spot. But then you can just kind of bring it up and slide it around. And use that to, I guess, when you tighten that down, it'll hold your stuff. So we'll experiment with that. And next up, we're going to try and figure out how to get the blade on here. So here we go. Okay, we're back. This was a little bit tricky. The directions I didn't find to be super clear for this. But I wanted to show you what this looks like with all the stuff off. So I was having a hard, it seemed to say like lift. This I think is the lower blade guard because normally it's down at the bottom here. It said to lift that and then remove let me get the right word, the blade bolt cover screw. And there's a few screws here that are hex. That one. There's a few Phillips screws. This is Phillips, but this is the one that you want to loosen. So you loosen this, you need to loosen that out reasonably far in order for this piece here, it slides down and is held on by that screw. And the reason you do that is because you need to get, in order to get at this, the blade bolt screw, which is now down there, you need this panel here, that sort of thing up there, to move up out of the way. And by removing that screw, that will slide up and you can get access to this thing. And then you're going to use your hex screw, and pro tip, it screws the other way, left-hand thread, so watch out for that. And in order to make that work, it says to press down, to press the spindle lock. I didn't know what that was. That is this thing. So you push that in, and it holds this thing steady, so you can actually unscrew it. I'm sure people that have changed blades many times in their lives, this is all very straightforward and simple stuff, but I found the directions to be a little bit confusing. Anyway, that's the latest on that. We're going to put the blade on now, put her back together, and see if she goes. Okay, we're back. We got the blade back. It's nighttime now, but we got the blade back on. There she be. Seems to cut well. The directions said, I thought this piece came right off, but no, you're supposed to just cut this hole right into this thing. So you cut one straight down, and then you go on this bevel and that bevel, and that apparently gets you all set. Some of the features here, there's a light switch up here. Oh, it's not plugged in. I unplugged it, but the light works quite well. I haven't quite figured out how to get the LED to come on yet. Still working on that one. I will say that we'll just set this down here. And you just press in on that to have it stay. It asks you to, the instructions anyway, ask you to make sure it's square. So I have a big square here and a kind of a speed square. And it's not bad. That's pretty good there. Sorry, camera wasn't lined up that well. See, that's pretty square. But when I come over on this side, see that? It's out a bit. And then also, you can do it this way too. So I did it that way. Now you need to kind of release I can't do this with one hand. You need to release this so it can go up and just let it up a little bit. And then measure it against the side of the blade. And it's good on this side, but not on the other side. So I'm going to look into how to adjust this thing. I mean, it's pretty close. So I may leave it, but I'd love to tinker with it and see if I can get it dialed in a little bit better. So if I figure that out, I will add that on as a next clip after this, at the end here after this clip. And, if I don't get around to that, then I'm probably just going to post this video, and maybe I'll put it up as another video when I do get a chance to do it. So we'll see. Anyway, pretty happy with this so far. I think it's going to be a little bit better. Like I say, the old Delta over there in the pile was, the brake never worked anymore, and I really especially like this stand. I think it's going to be a lot safer, actually. Usually I have like garbage cans and scrap wood piled up in order to get things level. This is going to, I think, make things quite a bit better. So after I attempt to adjust this thing, the next thing I'm going to do, and definitely recommend everyone, is make sure you register it right away, because you only get, I think, 90 days to register it and easy to forget. So get that registration in for your warranty, and enjoy your new saw. Take her easy. Okay, so those who know me know I'm a sucker for punishment, so I did decide to try and square this thing up. Turned out to not be as bad as I thought. Basically, you take off the sliding fence slider thingamajiggers there, and there's a couple of screws, couple of hex screws. They can use your, blade, the thing that comes with it. Boom, use that guy. They are crazy. It's really dark. You can't quite see down in there, but they're crazy tight. I thought I was going to snap this thing when I was reefing on it, but they will come out. And as you do that, this entire fence mechanism here, this one piece loosens up, and you can kind of adjust it. So what you do is you would have the saw down like this, and then you can take a big square, like a big full square like that one I have, or I tried it with both, but I was using my speed square for the most part. And you just put it up against the blade and see that you're not getting any movement here. So I was getting a little bit of play there, but as you can see now, she is some nice and tight way. She looks some good. I'll show you from this side. Go like this. And again, real good there. I can't see. Yeah, she's nice and tight. But it did have some play there before. So the other adjustment is that is the blade to the fence. And the next one is the blade to the base or table or whatever you want to call that. My speed square is a little bit too high, so I needed to unlock this guy, let it up a bit. Again, this is really hard to do with two hands, or without two hands. So you're kind of doing that to see if it's bang on or not. And in order to adjust that, so again, I needed... Sorry, turns out I accidentally stopped recording. I went on talking for a little while longer before I noticed, but I'm back now. So in order to adjust that blade to base, side to side here, there's a screw in here. So you'll see there's a Phillips here. That's just for the little knob, and it's really hard to see in the dark. But there's another Phillips screw in there. There's a little, it's kind of tucked into a little hole there, right in there. And anyway, I just turned that maybe 1/8 of a turn tighter. And then the speed square lined up real well. So it seemed to be out on like one side and not the other. Anyway, one little adjustment, and it seems now to be really good. Another thing I'm excited about with this saw is that it gives all my crown molding numbers and stuff right on the side. So this is gonna be a dream, I think. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. We'll see you next time on Fixing Random Crap with Craig. Take it easy.